What's going on YouTube? I'm back with another video. CyberPunk 2077 has dropped. Today I'm going to be telling you guys what the best specs, not the best specs, what the best graphic settings you need for your game. Now I run a 2070 Super in my PC, the graphics card. I also run a CPU, which is the i9 9900K. Those are very good CPUs and GPUs right there on the market. Now, a lot of people that are playing this on PS4 and Xbox One, literally you're playing at maybe 20 frames per second, which is terrible. It's not the game's fault, it is the PS4 and the Xbox One's fault, okay? Now, if you have the Series X and the PlayStation 5, you're good to go. I mean, but who has a PlayStation 5 right now? I mean, everything's sold out, let's be real. But today I'm gonna be showing you guys, the settings that you need, whether you have like a 1050 Ti, a 1060, a 970, whatever you got that's a budget to high end. These are the settings that you need. I'm gonna run through the settings that I have, and I'll run through the settings that you need, that you should have. Okay, now pay close attention. Let's get right into the video. Obviously hit that sub button, hit that like button, comment below. You guys know all the gist. We do a lot of gaming videos and PC videos on this channel, so definitely hit that notification bell so you guys know when I do upload. And I also teach you guys tips like this. So let's get right into the video. All right, so first and foremost, like I said again, I play on PC. Whatever you guys play, I mean, it's totally up to you, but go to settings, and then you're gonna go to graphics, of course. Okay, now look at my graphics. I have everything set to a custom graphic pretty much. Now I have my textures automatically on high. Now this is the 2070 Super settings right here. This is the i9 9900K settings. If you have a low end build, I'll show you the settings afterwards, but these are kind of like the high end build settings that you should have. High end build, okay? So my textures are set to high, and before I get started, my game looks beautiful with these settings. My texture set it to high, field of view automatically set that to 100 if you're playing on PC, of course. Film grain on, chromatic aberration on, depth of field on, lens flare on, motion blur high. And I'll tell you why you should have motion blur on high. Motion blur actually helps the game out, because when you have motion blur, you don't have to, the game doesn't have to worry about its FPS being downscaled, meaning the motion blur kind of helps with the FPS. So if you had this off, the frame rate would have to be constant all around when you're moving around without motion blur. The motion blur actually blurs it out, which keeps that frame rate the same. It's just like if you think about it, it's like more high demand if you have motion blur off to keep that FPS the same. Motion blur kind of like blurs it out, so the FPS it stays the same. It's complicated. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to confuse you guys, but yeah. Content shadows on, improve facial lighting geometry, that is on as well. And I don't know how to say some of these. I never know how to say this word, but you could set this to 16 or 8 if you're on a high-end build. I would set it to 16. It looks more beautiful. Local shadow mesh quality high. Local shadow quality high. All this is going to be on high pretty much if you want your game to look beautiful. Now you set it to ultra. Let's say you got a 2080 Ti, set that shit to ultra. Boom, set this to ultra if you got like a 2080 Ti. But I want to be able to have the best frame rate for me, of course, as well. So I'm gonna set mine to high. I basically set everything to high except for ambient occlusion. Now I can set this to high, and I can set this to off if I wanted to. You wanna know why? Because here, let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what I'm working with. I have a curved 3440 by 1440p monitor, okay? I have a curved 3440 by 1440p monitor, HDR, 1000 nits, all that good stuff. This is probably one of the best curved ultra wide monitors on the market. So it's basically 1440p fake 4K pretty much, if you think about it. That's what it basically is. Now this monitor is 35 inches, meaning my resolution is already at its, not at its highest, but it's almost at its highest pretty much. So I don't really need ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion, it's like sharpening the image. It's sharpening and softening the image, and I don't really need that. because I already have a nice monitor. So I can turn this to off and save some, you know, kind of like save some extra performance for my FPS. So I could turn that off if I wanted to, but if you have like a 1920 by 1080, you're gonna have this on high if you have a high-end build. If you have a 1440p, you can set this lower. Now, color precision, I don't really know what that is. I guess it's just like the actual true color in the game. I set it to high. Medium mirror quality, this should actually be set to high for me. Boom. It's basically the quality in the mirrors. Like, you know, in the beginning of the game, you go up to see your character and she's in the mirror, or he's in the mirror. I picked a female, but she's in the mirror, he's in the mirror, whatever. And it shows you the actual quality of it. It looked really cool when I had it on high. Level of detail, high as well. Now, ray tracing, I set this to off just to see how well my frame rate was, and it boosted it a lot. But I had it set to on in the beginning, okay? Now, when you have this set to on, I would keep reflections on for ray tracing. Shadows, I had it set to off when I started. And I had everything set to medium, okay? Because I didn't want to mess up my frame rate too much. I didn't want to downscale my frame rate. When I have ray tracing set to off, now listen here. My frame rate is at like 80, maybe 85, you know, on average like 80, okay? When I have this set to boom, it's getting like 60, maybe 50 frame rate, okay? Just so you guys know. But it's still gonna look beautiful. As long as I'm not moving around super fast, which I'm really not, I can play at 55 frames per second, 60 frames per second. That's perfect. With a beautiful game, that's amazing. But I have shadows set to off. I have this set to medium pretty much. DLSS, I have it set to auto. Now I can set the DLSS to performance, but it's gonna downscale the actual graphic if I do that. I'm so glad DLSS is for this game. I'm glad they implemented it because we needed it for CyberPunk, trust me. Now, if you have this set to off, you're gonna run into some problems with your performance, I'm sure. But DLSS set to auto for this preset is perfect, absolutely perfect. I haven't really messed with this stuff. I'm pretty sure I will like later on, just to see how they do. But yeah, these are the settings right here. Go ahead and copy them down. I would definitely, you know, look into a lot of this stuff for your build if you have a high-end build. Now on to the lower end builds. And I want to say something before we get started into the lower end builds. Like I said again, if you're running an Xbox One and PS4, you might as well just throw that shit away and, you know, get your refund and call PS4 and Xbox and let them know that, you know, they have to actually put out some good damn parts in their systems, because you're literally not going to get a good game. This game is amazing. I want to say that. But if you have a lower end CPU and a lower end GPU, meaning a low end PC, if you're running a 1060, if you're running a 1050, if you're running anything lower than a 1060, okay, GPU, and like a Ryzen 5 3600X, anything lower than that, you are going to run into some issues. Now, the Ryzen 5 3600X is okay. It's gonna be able to get you maybe 60 FPS if you have like a 1080, maybe at low settings at 1080p. Don't get it twisted, okay? Now, compared to a high-end build, for me, I have, like I said again, the 9900K, and I have the 2070 Super. If I were to run this game at 1080p, 1920 by 1080p, I could get easily 120 FPS and be fine at high settings. At low settings, I could probably get like 130, 140, 150, you know, up there in that range if I really wanted to. But I'm running at 3440 by 1440p. Okay, now not many people are running that monitor. Okay, so if you have a low end build and you're running 1920 by 1080, these are the settings for you. Let's get right into it. All right, here we go. Like I said again, this is pretty much what you're gonna want. And I'm glad I took a recording because I'm gonna mess up these settings and then put them back. So right off the back, okay, if you have a low end PC, you're gonna go low, okay? You are going low. Do not go anything higher than low, okay? You're going low. It is what it is. You're going low. Your PC cannot handle this game, so you're going low. You're turning everything off. Field of view at 100 or whatever. Motion blur. You're gonna want this on, so I would put it to high, okay? You're gonna want it on so you can not sacrifice your FPS, okay? Keep that on high. Contact shadows. This can be on. You can keep these on. It really doesn't matter depending on how you feel with your PC, how it's gonna feel. I honestly don't know because I don't have a low-end build, but this is what you're gonna want. You're gonna want this on either 4 or 1, depending on how sharp you want your game to look. 4 or 1. I'm gonna set it to 1, low, or low off, low. Actually, you're gonna want this on medium, okay? You're gonna want this on medium. You're gonna want some shadows. Low. You're gonna want that resolution to low or medium, depending on how your PC can handle. You can, like I said again, you're gonna have to tinker with this stuff to see if your PC can actually handle it. If it can't, set it back to low. If it can, you're good. So just tinker with your settings. You're gonna run with low and medium, but low, mainly low. When you get to screen space reflections, you can set this to low. You don't need to set it to off. If it, depending on your CPU, GPU, set it to low or off, okay? Pretty much low. Ambient inclusion, you're gonna wanna set this to low, okay? Because if you don't have it on, your game is gonna look awful at 1080p. It is. It's not gonna look beautiful like you want it. So set it to low. Color precision, medium. Mirror quality, low or medium, up to you. Level of detail, I would set this to medium, but it might tarnish your PC a little bit, but it's okay. And ray tracing, you are not going to touch this unless you have an RTX card. I repeat, you are not going to touch this settings. I repeat, you are not going to touch ray tracing settings on a low-end CPU and a low-end GPU. You are not going to test ray tracing settings. Do not turn this on if you have a 1060 and lower. If you have an RTX card and a good CPU, turn this on. If you have an RTX card, meaning a 2060 Super and up, and a good CPU, you can turn this on. If you have a bad CPU, you're gonna bottleneck, meaning don't turn this on, okay? Don't turn it on. Do not turn this setting on. If you have a low-end PC, do not turn it off. Keep it off. You might not even get these settings actually if you don't have a RTX card. But if you have a low-end PC, don't turn it on. Turn it off. It's going to drastically, your frame rate's gonna go from 40 to 10, okay? Don't turn it on. DLSS, I would put this on auto, okay? If you tend to run into problems with your performance, meaning the FPS is getting slow, I would go all the way to ultra performance. Your game's not gonna look as crisp. It's not gonna look crisp at all, but you're gonna be able to run this game at the frame rate you want. So this is very important for you low-end PC players, okay, that have this game. I would automatically set this thing to ultra performance or performance, okay? I would do my settings on medium to low and set this to performance or ultra performance if I want the best frame rate and be able to play this game at least 50, 60, 40, whatever PC you have. I wouldn't mess with this. I don't know too much about this stuff yet. But yeah, that is it. That is all you have to do. That is all you should do. That is the settings. I am going to try to implement something right here. I'm gonna try to actually, I'm gonna play the game a little bit so you guys can see my settings, and we'll get back into the video. All right, so we're gonna hop right into a game. I'm gonna press continue because I actually already played, of course. This game is amazing. Like I said again, this game is amazing. Graphics, like I've never seen graphics like this. Wait, what's going on with my sound? Oh, I have my sound on low. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. All right, so this is literally how my game is looking. Pretty fire.
Whoa, V, you get your beauty sleep? No matter. Time you got up.
I think I might have caught something.
What? Were you embarrassed?
When I jacked into that Corpo's biome neurovirus. I need to see Vic. Let him tell me what's got my head reeling and my stomach churning.
Okay, let me take you. I brought you a ride. Throw on some threads, meet me downstairs.
All right, so right now I'm running at like,
Piece of shit. Come on.
I want to say I'm running at like 40 FPS. I got ray tracing basically set to medium. Everything else set to like ultra high.
How about a round or two?
The game looks good though.
What do you say?
How you like my new punching bag?
Little
Just
choppy.
gave me a next-gen ass whooping. He did. Be curious to see how he handles the likes of me. So how about it?
All right, so I'm gonna do this little like mini game thing. Yeah, see, look, these are my setting: ray tracing, medium. I have everything basically set to high, ultra, everything on, high, ultra. I have ray tracing set to on, reflection set to off. I might change that. Shadow set to on and medium. Everything like that. Now, if I were to play with this and set this to performance, I would get better FPS. Watch. You see that? So that is the perks of DLSS. That's the perks of DLSS right there. Boom. Let me fight this dude.
Let's do this.
Light on your feet. Keep that head moving. You got one hell of a punch there, champ. Ever thought of monetizing it?
Wow.
I can arrange a fight or two.
I beat
What do
him.
you say?
What have
What you got
for
on the
sale?
scale, baby?
Only top shelf gear.
Top shelf geared. All right. Oh, you want some money? Okay, I thought you was giving stuff away for free. Well, okay, I don't have that much money. Coach Fred, 26,000. Holy shit! All this is worth 26,000, I guess. Wait, am I selling stuff or do I need to buy this? Confused. I guess I need to buy this. All right. Do I want a hammer? How much is this? Oh, this is too much money. I could probably get this. I'm probably gonna get this stuff for free too. So, nah.
You mentioned something about fighting?
I've seen you landing blows in the ring. You've got sharp instinct, good edge. You can go far, especially if you get chipped. These fights,
Lucrative for who? You or me?
both of us. I get a small percentage of the total winnings, you know, as your agent. You get the rest.
All right, so DLS set to, what do I have it set to? I have DLS set to performance. Let's try balance. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, no. You see, because it tries to balance everything out from quality to performance, and it's just too demanding. See, like if I were to do quality DLSS, it'll be worse. Oh, no, it isn't. That's weird.
At all foods, nature comes first. From the very first stages of food production, we bring you lots of lives. Don't get us done while you can.
Hers after every shot.
What the hell? All right, yeah, we would have to set this to performance. I'm gonna try to set ultra performance. So boom, ultra performance looks pretty.
Stay straight.
It's time for your local news.
Hey V, Regina Jones here. If you're looking for work in Watson, give me a call.
How did you find me? How'd you even know my name?
I know where.
All right, so boom. Yeah. All right, so boom. You guys saw pretty much what the game kind of looked like with different settings. Now, like I said again, I would use DLSS to your best ability of how you want to do it. For me, like I'm running a high-end build, so I can jack everything up and then use DLSS for my performance if I wanted to. But it's pretty simple. If you have a low-end build, I suggest you set everything to low, and literally let DLSS help you out. If you have, you know, a good enough build. If you don't, then you're kind of screwed. But that's pretty much it for the video. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell so you guys know when we upload. I'll be uploading a lot of Cyber 2077 content on this channel. It's gonna be lit. I'll be streaming over on Twitch too, twitch.tv/Natepushweights every single day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Stay beautiful, my friends. And I'll see you guys. Peace out.
What the fuck is that?
Bitch, you know you gonna lose. I got one question for you.
Where have your tits gone?
Bitch, this ain't FIFA, you can run. Oh no. But I think I'm about done.
Being nice to you.
Bruh.